just came down here to, I would say more, not violent, more to protect our community, basically, because we came down, we had the concept like, y'all got the right to kill us, we got the right to protect ourselves or harm y'all in a way. But I don't feel like what we was doing could really harm them. They was only throwing water bottles and rocks. That's it.
So August 9th, it was just a regular day for me. I was actually at the grocery store with my mom and my cousin who lived recently in Canfield prior to August 9th. Sent me a picture, then called me crying, saying they killed somebody. D-Seals was actually the first person I met in Canfield. We were trapped like 13 hours in Canfield together. And it was just chaotic.
So the world know my background, so when I hear something like that, it's just like I brush it off like, you know, somebody else got killed. But he started telling me it was like it was the police. And I started looking at all the tweets of what people were saying, and I seen a picture somebody took from their window, and his body was just laid in the middle of the street, and blood everywhere. And I just kind of lost it. You know, I just felt like hot tears coming down my face, and it was just like enough was enough. I was just tired.
How y'all doing? All right. I appreciate you hanging with us today. The video you just saw was with 3 of my comrades for Hands Up United in Ferguson. And I know many of us have seen the news and have experienced what they've talked about, you know, crazy young black kids. But I was in Ferguson the day of Mike Brown's funeral, and for the last 2 years, I've been in and out of St. Louis hanging out with my friends. And what I saw while I was there was a group of young people who are passionate about their future, who are passionate about this country, and willing to put their lives on the line in the way that our ancestors were and did. And we got 3 of those people here. I want to introduce them. Can Low-Key, Rika Tyler, and T-Dubb-O please come to the stage, please? Give them a round of applause. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us. Many people talk about Ferguson and the movement as if it was the past, but part of the reason why I wanted to show that video that was shot over the last 2 years was because they've been doing amazing stuff that never is gonna make the news, and I think they need to be honored, and I think if we're gonna really get out of this moment, we have to follow their lead. Because if not, we're going to be stuck because we haven't listened to the young people enough. But before we get started, I want to first bring up Rika. That's where you were watching that. You were saying that was the first time you had seen that video, and that was June 2015. Can you let people know what you've been doing since that time and what inspired you to take to the streets for over 2 years?
Hello, everybody. I'm Rika Tyler, like he said, from St. Louis, Missouri. June 2015 till now, I am back in school. I withdrew from college when I was out protesting for Mike Brown. And I've been organizing, learning, growing, just being bigger in my community, deeper in my community, building with the people, and just learning as I grow. I'm a part of a grassroots organization, Hands Up United. We have several programs that we do. We have a books and breakfast program where we give free books and free breakfast to the entire community, and that happens twice a month. We have a Friday Freedom Flick, which is political education through film. We show films like Fahrenheit 9/11 or the Black Power mixtape, things like that. We have a People's Pantry, which was inspired by the Black Panther Party, where we give out free hygiene products to women, free clothes, free food, free everything for the entire community. And I've just been out learning. I'm back in school, like I said, and yep.
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old. The mic. I'm 22 years old. What inspired me to go outside is, I saw Mike Brown, I saw myself. I have a 3-year-old little boy. He'll be 4 in December, and that could have been him. That could have easily been one of y'all. And I saw my family when I was out there, so how can you see something so tragic like that and not do nothing?
So the next person I want to bring up is this young brother right here who is Devante Jackson, AKA Low Key. And when I first met Low Key, he was 15 years old. And it's hard to explain Ferguson, you know, because the media talked about it one way, but on the ground it was like family coming out. And it was like homeless kids and grandmothers and old preachers, mostly women preachers, to be honest. And this family was being formed, and there was this young crazy dude named Low-Key who kept inspiring people. And every night he'd go to the front of the front lines, and he would talk crazy to the police. And I've seen him grow tremendously over the last 2 years. And I think there would be no Ferguson movement. There would be no Black Lives Matter. There would be no discussion that we're having if it weren't for this young man and his crew of brave people. But you're doing a lot of stuff now, you know. Can you tell us what inspired you and then what you're doing right now to try to change the story for people like you?
I think really what inspired me is, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, but I'm from Wellston. You know, like in my neighborhood, it's a lot of abandoned houses, abandoned stores, abandoned community centers. They shut down all our schools. You know, you can really just drive through the neighborhood and see a lot of eviction notices on everybody's house. Poverty and restricting places, it seemed like we've been stuck. But we've been dying. Like my uncle got killed by the police, T-Dubb friends got killed by the police. This is nothing new, but to see it publicized and actually hitting our city right around the corner from where we stay. You know what I'm saying? To see a dead kid in the street, like, a lot of people want to cry, but I guess people from our city have that fighter mentality, so they don't want to see it happen again. That's what really pushed me to come out. I'm at MA now studying, I want to do photography and just get all into that, you know. I'm 17. I've been knowing y'all for 2 years. It feel like 3, it's really 3, y'all. Cause my birthday in December, it's December 10th, so I'm gonna be 18, so it's gonna be 3 in a few months, y'all. Y'all was a big part of me growing. Just being able to have you, your personality, you know, Rika be there to love me and T-Dubb to give me that hard love. It all sculpted what it is today, you know, and I'm very thankful.
I'm not, because you're going to anger me in about 2 minutes, but after this event. But T-Dubb-O. So I don't even know if T-Dubb, if you remember when I met you, you were in the back of this car. So the thing about St. Louis is it's a cultural town. You know, I know a lot of us know the blues history and that back and forth cultural exchange between St. Louis on the Mississippi River and New Orleans. But there's still a really vibrant rap community there. I mean, super vibrant. And if it weren't for the drums every night, if it weren't for rappers like inspiring through freestyle chants, again, if you've been to any protest march, you've heard these chants that have come from St. Louis. And the first time I met you, we were in a car, and you played a record for me. I was like, dang, this brother can really rap. And then you started talking, and you flipped me out because, you know, even myself, you got the tattoos on the face, the everywhere. But when you talk, I mean, he got tattoos everywhere. But when you talk, it's an intelligence that I don't think people were ready for in St. Louis. And that carried you to every news outlet in the world, basically. But how were you able to get through the perception of you to really stand up, not only against the police, but against your homies who may not have always understood the purpose behind the protesting?
Dreams. Where we come from, like Low-Key said, I mean, it's not a place where a black person can thrive and dream, and just having the vision to say, I'm tired of the shit that we deal with. I'm tired of what we go through. I'm tired of my homies dying. I'm tired of my mama struggling. I'm tired of police harassing us. I'm tired of our schools not having books. I'm just tired, and I see an entire world out there that's ours, and that's what keep me pushing, and that's what keep me trying to push that message into people's heads.
What about the music, though? Why still do the music?
That's my coping mechanism. We got a saying in the hood, like, black men ain't supposed to cry. You know, so we internalize all our pain and oppression, and we walk around like ticking time bombs. So if you don't have some type of outlet to heal, then that's exactly what you're gonna become. So my music is not just healing for me, but also a way for me to, I guess, trick my peers, so to speak. If I got a dope beat and they know I'm from the hood, they know me as a gangbanger, they know me as an ex-drug dealer. If I can sneak them Jews into them records, it's gonna start to change them. They're gonna find themselves rapping it to themselves, and them Jews are gonna be coming out. And they're gonna start asking questions when they see us in the Crip neighborhood doing the Books and Breakfast program, and we got a Sada Shakur book on the table. They're gonna start asking questions. When we got Michelle Alexander book on the table, they're gonna start asking questions. Or when we showing the Black Power mixtape, and they pull up while they smoking, and we having a conversation. Well, what's this y'all watching? Well, this is that. Stay and watch it. Get out the car. And it's completely safe. The most dangerous neighborhood in St. Louis. Everybody out there got a gun, but everybody's safe. It's no violence. No violence, and that just start to make a trickle-down effect, and it start to change things. We doing something that the government not doing. We doing something that none of these national organizations not doing. We doing something that these fraternities and sororities not doing. I'm a rolling 60s Crip. We doing something that nothing that's quote-unquote black positive is doing.
Yeah, man. You know, one thing that, yeah, I mean, I really ain't got nothing to say, you know, after that, because it's true. I mean, it's really true, and I give T-Dubb a lot of credit because to be a protester in St. Louis was crazy because not only were the police after you, but the community was after you guys a lot, you know, and when you got homies from the street who don't always understand it, and then you really making them hot because you're on TV every single day, I know I really appreciate your sacrifice, man, because I know that even off camera you were trying to bring street organizations together, and it'll never get the news coverage, so I appreciate you a lot. Give them a round of applause for that, because that's powerful. One thing about St. Louis and Ferguson was that we were all surveilled by the state a lot. In fact, me, Rika, and T-Dubb were all arrested almost the same day, the day after the non-indictment. I mean, same moment, we were all put over the same moment, the day after Darren Wilson was announced that he wasn't going to be convicted or charged with crime. They had a gun put to their face. I had just got a ticket. But that has been going over and over and over again. Like, we got so many stories. But what would you have, Rika, what would you tell these folks about your experience and maybe the level of danger that you experienced in St. Louis and continue to experience because you continue to talk out?
I would tell people the shit's not a game, like, at all. Like, people think it's a new trending thing. I know Beyonce got a tour coming out, or she on tour showing all the people that's been killed by the state, and a lot of people are getting so-called woke now. Like, this ain't no new trending thing. This has been happening. You as people of color and black people in general, like, we were born into this, so this is ours, and you just need to understand that you can take it. And I mean, like I said, that shit is just real. Like, seeing all of that stuff on TV, I know people have seen it around the world. Ferguson was on a map because of a Quick Trip burned down by a white boy who threw a grenade in there. People like to say, oh, Ferguson protesters looting this, looting that. We didn't cause violence. I don't condone violence. But when the police are out there steady attacking my people, steady attacking me, I've seen people hogtied, police shooting tear gas at us, mustard gas, all of this crazy stuff, and we don't really know what it is. Real bullets, all type of stuff. A girl has lost her eye from that. Like, people have, like, literally been traumatized from that. I've been traumatized from it. I want people to know that that stuff is real. Mental health is real, and, like, our city hasn't healed from none of that. Like, people on their porch weren't even part of the protest or nothing. Kids have to go to school and see a big old tank in front of their yard. Like, it's real, and I mean, I don't really know how to put it around except saying it's not a game at all, like, and just real life shit happening. Like, I never thought in my life I'd be able to tell my child, like, oh, I was tear gassed 3 summers in a row, almost 4 summers in a row. Like, we were shot by mustard gas that was not even, what was it, like, not legal in the United States. So, like, I mean, we had a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't legal. Like, the DOJ steady coming down, like, we're gonna help you with this. the police are basically just like, fuck y'all. And excuse my language, but that's just what it was. So when people were like, oh, fuck the police, why are you guys screaming that? Promote peace, let's sit here, kumbaya. We can't do that because the police is steady killing us. We can't do that because the police is steady attacking us. I have to worry if they're gonna make it home safe. If we're getting tear gassed and they split up from me, I gotta worry to figure out how I'm gonna find them for the police get them. Like, it's a real life thing, and I mean, the police was 10 times harder on black males in the city of St. Louis than they were on us, of course, but it was crazy. I done pulled all of them back. I didn't have to hold on to Biko and tell Biko to stop running so they wouldn't shoot him. I had to pull him back from the police choking him, like almost so he can't breathe. Like, it's been several things. Low-key was only 15, he's 17 now, but like, he's tall, he's 6'4". I mean, he's a threat to the police. So when they would see him just using his voice, saying no justice, no peace, F y'all, like the police was scared and they would do anything to try to attack people from that.
The fear of the police, I saw that for real. Like, you stand up to the police, and you see this 35-year-old white man looking at you, and he was so afraid. I mean, we'll have so much footage of it over and over and over again, and we travel all across the country and see it over and over again. But one thing that low-key always brought up was the fact that we have a right to live. We have a right to be free. And this is coming from a 15-year-old kid at the time. And I really think the ancestors came through these kids, because if not, we wouldn't have made it out. But Lo, what would you tell? But the other day I was showing them the clips with the police. And he said, I would never do that again. I would never do that again. Why wouldn't you do that again, looking back 2 years ago?
Man, just looking back 2 years ago to now, I believe that we teachers. And if you stand up and you hold signs and you just yell at people all day and you don't put any steps into trying to build something in your community, touching your friend, like, bro, you know when you sell that crack to do, you know you really killing us, bro. You know when you finna go shoot that house up that you harming our community. Like, it became way more than yelling at the police. You can sit, we can sit and we can yell at the police and we can blame everybody for what we going through, y'all. But it's gonna start with us. We have to teach our kids, we have to love our kids, we have to love our neighbor, everybody. So I wouldn't do it again because it was so much violence, so much negativity, and everybody just start looking at me like, oh, there go the young little wild boy that's finna start yelling at the police. And I would start putting my friends in danger. Like you heard Rika say, she had to come grab me, T-Dubb had to come grab me. They gonna shoot T-Dubb because he got a star on his face, you know what I'm saying? She a girl, so they just shoving her into the ground. So really I had to think about everybody around me more than just focusing on my anger.
T-Dubb, I love T-Dubb, because T-Dubb says the stuff on Facebook that I want to say but don't. Every day I'd be like, yeah, Dubb, hey, Dubb, I don't know if you should say that, Dubb, but still giving him a high five. In this moment, Dubb, the Black Lives Matter, which we helped blow up. I mean, there's no lie about it. We were there before Black Lives Matter became a national phenomenon. But I don't think it all the way encapsulates your feelings, you know? As a black man who's a target with a 6-point star on his face, what would you say to people in here who don't come from your neighborhood about the power of black men and what they can do in the future?
With an opportunity, a piece of coal can be turned into a diamond. They like to say it, or they used to say that protesters were uneducated, we didn't have any jobs, or we were poor. The most intelligent people I know in the world are drug dealers. And when a lot of people are quiet, y'all might not understand what I'm saying. They're typically dropouts from school. However, they have no problem counting. They have no problem turning 1 into 2 and never took chemistry. All they need is an opportunity. They're entrepreneurs who's running a successful business. And the only reason that they're arrested is because they're not paying taxes on it. So even us turn our backs on those type of people. I've seen it firsthand, and that's exactly what Ferguson showed the world. The first day when the protest started, August 10th, you had preachers coming to tell us to get out of the street. We're being disrespectful to the police. Black preachers who've now turned over a new leaf, who's the most radical people in the world, according to their interviews. You got organizations that came into St. Louis that used the statistics of what happened to us every day in the hood. Like every black person in the world is oppressed. But the monstrosities of what take place in the hood is two totally different worlds. You got 10, 11-year-olds getting off the school bus getting harassed by detectives because they won't tell them where their uncle at who's selling dope, who getting guns put to their head. Every day, if you take a child and you tell him he a monster from the time he's 3 up until he's 16, what is he going to become? These aren't privileged, middle-class black kids that's going through this. These are kids that are being raised in poverty in the sections of the neighborhood that everybody's scared to drive down. It's a Martin Luther King in every city. That part of Martin Luther King where them vacant buildings at, that's the areas that I'm talking about. And all those kids need is an opportunity. But we don't even get that in places like this. I wish I could have brought the whole hood here with me to see something like this, to see Washington, D.C., to hear this knowledge that's being taught up on this stage. But again, we preaching to the choir. Jesus was in the slums. And that's what we got to get back to. We scared of our own people. We can't judge each other. We asking them not to judge us, but we judge each other. And that's what we got to get away from. There is no revolution without the street. And the minute we get that in our minds, we can take this whole world and make it equitable for everybody.
We got about 5 minutes before we have to close up, but Rika really did save me from getting shot, you know. Like the whole crew showed up to this spot to protest. Probably wasn't the best place to protest looking back. And our whole crew was arrested, and I was the last person to be arrested. And they kept saying, you gotta disperse, you gotta disperse. And I was walking back. I was like, okay, I'm dispersing. And they sprayed me in the face with pepper spray. And I was like, man, I've been working out. Let me run back to my car, because I'm dispersing, and they must want me to go faster. And I heard Rika's voice, Biko, don't run. And I laid down on the ground and was arrested. I guess they had a taser beam on me and were gonna shoot me.
It was a beam to, yeah, they were going to shoot you with the taser, but he had his gun out also.
So
yeah.
Don't mistake the taser for the gun.
Yeah, that would have been bad. I'd have been mad. But
You wouldn't have been alive.
right, probably not. But I went to jail with T-Dubb, and my whole crew was in jail with T-Dubb. And these people are still facing charges in St. Louis. Some of us, some high-profile activists are still facing charges. So if you're a funder or an organization or some type of philanthropist, Hands Up United, and it's not perfect because it's 15, 17-year-old kids, 22-year-old people. It's not perfect, but to me, this is the future of America. And if you can support these folks in any way, I ask that you do it, because a lot of people have turned their back on St. Louis. And now that the spotlight is gone, it's even increasingly dangerous when people are facing real charges for just using their voice. But we got 3 minutes. I want you all to give us a closing statement of what you want them to know, and then we'll get out of your way.
I just want to let y'all know and speak up this brother's name because he matters. Joshua Williams, he's 18 years old. He's a political prisoner. He was one of the forefront people in Ferguson, Missouri. He is in Bon Terre, Missouri prison. I'm going to get the information to Biko, and he can give it to y'all. If y'all can just send him love, write him letters. He can't really get much, but he's going to be in there for 8 years. Just send him support, because that's what he needs right now. He's 18. But he was out in protesting from August 2014 to December 2015, and some accusations came up. And I mean, they're doing that with a lot of people. It's actually a lot of people from Ferguson in jails or prisons right now. So I just want to lift his name up, Josh Williams.
Hashtag free Josh.
Yep.
I just want to let everybody know that we are teachers, man. Black men in here, like, if you see a young man sagging or something, don't look at him. Don't look at him. Don't look down on him. You know, I sag too sometimes. My pants just don't stay up. And young black men, live up to y'all full potential, man. We can take over this world. Really. That's why they scared of us. That's why they kill us. Black women too. Black women are support, you know, but we warriors, man. Like, we was put here to fight this, the millennial generation, man. Like, or we were just here to fight and win. Black men, the youth, our elders already fight for us. They already fought, you know what I'm saying? They tired. It's our time to stand up.
I just want to urge everybody to get active. We ain't won nothing at all. Nothing has changed since the 60s. Nothing has changed since before then. Slavery never left. It was just re-identified. And we got to figure out a way to get out of this system. Like, this system wasn't designed for us. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. People saying the system is failing, but it's not. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. These police are killing black people because they were trained to kill black people. It's locking black people up because they was trained to lock black people up, and oppression of us is profitable for them, and it propels capitalism. And until we can figure that out and get away from this system, we're going to continue to go through the same problems that we had. I mean, I shook Obama's hand with the same hand I sold crack with, and he sat in there and told me that the problem was black crime and the fact that we don't vote. So if we can't even count on a black president to be honest about the issues that we facing, we can't count on nobody to be honest about the issues that we facing. And we got to look in the mirror and realize that we have to reconstruction this system for us. The system is not going to do it itself.
That's right. Give them a round of applause, y'all. All right. Now, I want y'all to stay in contact with us. So if you could take out your phone real quick, just take it out real quick. We're gonna do some technology. If you text BMR, literally BMR, those 3 letters, to 228-466, 228-466. Again, BMR to 228-466. You'll stay in contact with CBMA, and we'll be able to send you more content. So please take out your phone, BMR to 228-466. All right, and that's brought to you by Live Free.
Please visit handsupunited.org to get familiar with all the programs that we're doing and see how you can get one established in your city. Our Books and Breakfast program is in 34 cities in 3 other countries. We also have a tech impact program that we do teach kids of color how to build websites and code, and some art programs as well. So visit handsupunited.org just to get familiar. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
The last day to vote is tomorrow, or register to vote is tomorrow also.
Vote local.